Alright, ready? Alright, let's take a look. There's a post that I haven't really had a chance to keep up on all of things. And it's a post by JMU Grad. And I think you sent me an email a while ago asking me to help you design a bar in Miami or something like that. And I was like, come on, you're killing me. This is your college project. You need to be doing this on your own, not getting on the board and asking us to help you to do it. You're cheating. This is cheating. But this post has kind of gone from a bar thread to the Discovery Channel to almost soft porn in nature. So let's try to swing it back to where it started at. How much does it cost to build a bar? And that's a pretty good question that was asked by JMU Grad. So let's go over. In designing our bars and then laying our bars out, we look at a linear foot of the bar. What does a linear foot actually cost? And you can come back and you can calculate that price out. And one way that you can calculate that price out is to get a good rough idea of it. First of all, you got to pick your materials. And somebody on here said that they were going to use Formica for your bar type. Bad idea. Okay? Formica for a countertop at home on your kitchen counter. All right, great. But it's going to come up on the ends, it's going to get broken off. Formica just does not last. It's a bad bar top countertop. Granite is a good countertop. Wood is a good countertop. All these are good countertops to use. You know, even the concrete, which is kind of was a phase, a design phase that came in. It was kind of cool to have a concrete bar top for a while. And I understand it's cheap, and I know it's easy to do, and this and that, and you can stain it different colors. But that kind of phased in and out with popularity for whatever reasons. And yes, the health code does have issues with it. Like if you take a look at our bar top here, we have to have the clear coat on it. This is for the health department, so you can see the epoxy coat. That way you're not eating straight on the wood, so that was another thing. And any kind of a stone is a clear surface, even though stone is porous, all right? So let's look at how, when I looked at building my bar, how I calculated out my cost. What I did is I looked at a linear foot of my bar top. I know that my bar top cost me about $25 to $33 just for the bar top, unfinished. All right. Then I took a linear foot of my tile. I figured about 4 pieces of tile. That was another $40. Then I have my bar dies that go on the inside. I calculated out the cost of 2x4s and the framing and the labor for the contractor to put that together. And I figured I'm spending probably another $10 in materials to put that together, not counting labor. On the inside of my bar now, I'm sheeting that with OSB or with a marine grade, you want to do a marine grade plywood, and then on top of that you're going to sheet it again with FRP. Okay, now to figure out the total cost of all that, you're looking at another $10 for a linear foot. So my total value per linear foot of bar, you add all those totals up, I don't know, it's coming to like $60, $70, whatever it is, okay? Now, when you're figuring and you're calculating out your linear footage, then you need to take and figure out how long your bar is. So if I say my bar is 20 feet long, all right, I'm going to put 3 wells in my bar. Now you need to calculate how much of an equipment you're going to add in there. You're going to need 2 top-loading coolers. You're going to need 3 ice wells. You're going to need a glassware rack. You're going to need sinks, 3 sinks. Figure each sink is going to be a little over $100. Each ice well is going to be about $800 to $900, maybe $1,000. Each top-loading cooler is going to be about $1,300, $1,200, $1,500. So now you take the total of all the equipment, all right, and you're going to divide that by 20, and that's going to give your cost per foot on building the bar, all right? Now you got to add in labor, all right? And labor is pretty much an equation that could vary widely, whether you're doing the bar yourself or whether you have a contractor doing your bar, whoever it is doing your bar. You figure I'd take about $20 an hour and figure about 2 to 3 days of solid labor to build your bar. So you want to take 20 an hour times 8 times 3 even times 4, all right, for all of that. Now you have to add in your plumbing and your electrical, because plumbing is going to cost you, electrical is going to cost you. There's 2 more things. Now, to add in that stuff, it's going to be a little more expensive. It's about $45 an hour sometimes for plumbers and electricians. And once again, you're going to figure in 3 days, 4 days of labor. All right? So bars get expensive fast. All right? So it's something you need to keep a look at. Now, choosing your materials is a decision that you're going to have to make wisely. You can make your bar beautiful. You can make it crappy looking. There's a million different ways you can go with this, okay? What you're going to want to remember is whatever you do, you have to remember it needs to take a beating. Okay, so that's the most important thing, because these bars just get wrecked. As Joe can tell you right here, Joe can attest to, these bars take a pounding. Okay, and it's non-stop water spills and people standing on the bars and people hopping up on the bars and things, buckets of ice, bar stools, everything gets pushed out across our countertops. All right, so you got to remember, whatever you build it to last. That's it.